Welcome back to Rockingham and the F3 Cup, a new challenge for the 2014 season for the drivers. The first visit of the F3 Cup to the Rockingham Motor Speedway, and we had a great race. What about race 2? Alice Powell and Toby Showery share the front row from Lee Morgan and Tristan Cliff. Lee Hamilton-Smith and Oliver Ray on row 3. It's going to be very competitive, as Tristan Cliff will be hoping to make amends from that pretty wretched start for race 1. As we've seen the 5-second board, we wait for the red lights to come on, which they do now. The revs rise, and Cliff, much better start from Cliff this time. He makes the gear shift at the perfect time and leaps through into potentially second place by the time they arrive into the first corner. It's Alice Powell who leads the way. Second place then Cliff, third is Sowery, fourth is Lee Morgan, but already Tristan Cliff defends the inside line from Toby Sowery as Lee Morgan launches to the inside at the Dean hairpin and snatches third. Hamilton-Smith, Oliver Ray also in the mix as Nick Robinson darts to the inside of Tony Bishop. The field then almost arrive as one into Yentwood as they all look to try and make ground in these early stages as Tristan Cliff takes the chase to Alice Powell. It was like halcyon days of the 2013 season, seeing the pair of them out front racing nose to tail. As they head down the steel straight for the first time, Alice Powell able to get a couple of car lengths clear of Tristan Cliff. Lovely smooth driving technique though from Cliff, as he in turn has got a little bit of an advantage over Lee Morgan, who's busy trying to defend third from Toby Sowery. But Sowery to the inside line at Tarzan, gains the position, no way back for Morgan on the exit, so down the school straight. And Toby Sowery's next task will be overhauling Tristan Cliff if he possibly can. The cars filter through Brook chicane, nose to tail, and then accelerate along the start and finish straight. Cliff has got Sowery right in his slipstream behind him. Lee Morgan and Louis Hamilton-Smith also looking to join in the battle. Which side will Sowery go? To the high side or the low side? Jinks to the high side, then tries for the bottom of the circuit. Tristan Cliff covers that, so Sowery looks to the outside line at the Dean hairpin, hopes that Cliff will make an error. Snatch break there for Tristan Cliff, and he sticks to the racing line. Toby Sowery then contemplates the move into Yentwood as Louis Hamilton-Smith decides to make the move into Yentwood to the inside of Lee Morgan. Has he made that stick? Yes, he has. As Morgan slithers out wide into Chapman Curve. Oliver Ray may also be able to have taken advantage. The battle, though, is the one for second and third position. As the silver car of Tristan Cliff defends from the white machine of Toby Sowery, who had such an electrifying start to the season. Victories at Snetterton and Silverstone for Sowery. Around the outside line at Tarzan, finds the grip, finds the traction, more importantly finds the inside line as they arrive on the brakes into Brook. Through goes Sowery up into second place. Challenge for Toby Sowery now. This is going to be the true test of his pace, is whether or not he can immediately get himself onto terms with Alice Powell. And if he can, whether or not he can bring Tristan Cliff with him for company. Cliff at the same time has got Louis Hamilton-Smith not too far behind him. So once more on the brakes into the Dean hairpin, turning down off the oval section of the circuit. The way the banking just falls away for drivers, it really does make for a little bit of a challenge. Then around Yentwood, Alice Powell, probably 9 or so car lengths ahead of Sowery. Then it's Cliff in third. He's remaining in touch with Sowery. That really is the task that he's looking to achieve. Louis Hamilton-Smith not too far adrift in fourth. So out of Gracelands, Alice Powell leads the way, ahead of Sowery and Cliff. Sowery, one of the slightly older cars in the field, he's in the 2005 specification Dallara. Alice Powell and Tristan Cliff both running in the Dallara F307, as is Louis Hamilton-Smith. Not unsurprisingly, in this championship for F3 cars in the really very recent past, all the cars are Dallaras, which have been the preeminent chassis in the British Formula 3 Championship, and really European Formula 3 since 1993. And despite the best efforts of Lola and then most recently Miguel, Dallaras have dominated. Miguel, though, did score a British Formula 3 Championship race win here at Rockingham in the hands of Nick Tandy, going back several seasons ago. Really the last time that the Dallara dominance was ever threatened. Toby Sowery still trying to trace Tristan Cliff as we follow. Race trophy class leader, Oliver Ray. Ray currently circulating in 5th position as Cliff comes under pressure from Louis Hamilton-Smith. Hamilton-Smith unable to make it out in every round because his day job is in the world of Formula 1, and therefore, unsurprisingly, he's indisposed many weekends a season. When he's able to make it out, he's always on the pace and always challenging for the podium. Tristan Cliff, instead of concerning himself with Sowry up ahead, is more worried about Hamilton-Smith behind. Through the Brook chicane, the gap between Cliff and Hamilton-Smith just opens up 2 or so car lengths. Louis Hamilton-Smith should be able to close that down through this oval section of the circuit. There was talk at one time of having Formula 3 races on both the Rockingham Oval and also the Lausitz Ring Oval. But not unsurprisingly, for safety reasons, that was eventually decided that it shouldn't proceed, unless it was certainly something the drivers expressed enthusiasm for. As it is, the Rockingham circuit presents a unique challenge, the only venue in the UK where you've got the component of oval circuit, then the infield section that comprises the International Super Sports Car Circuit. And therefore, a myriad of challenges for the drivers. Lapping at an average speed of just about 90 miles an hour. It's Nick Robinson in 9th position, trying to chase down those in front of him. As out front, Toby Sowry has absolutely eaten away at Alice Powell's advantage. He brings the gap down significantly, and so we're pretty much as we were in race 1, which is that Sowry is all over the tail of Powell, but can he find a way past Alice? Will she just be able to maintain her place, maintain that buffer to Sowry, make life difficult for him as he looks to at least score 1 victory this weekend? Thinks about the move to the inside into the Dean hairpin. Again, Powell though just moves across and covers the inside line. And this is what Alice Powell did so well in race 1, which is when she needed to drive defensively, she did. But crucially, she'd take slow apexes just to make sure that Sowry couldn't move back on the switchback, exactly what she did there through Yentwood. Then she picks up the racing line once more for Chapman and Piff Paff. And therefore, Sowry continues to get very frustrated. Morgan, meanwhile, sandwiched between Mark Harrison and Tony Bishop. A pair of them fighting over 6th, 7th and 8th place. Around Yentwood for them, as out of Gracelands on towards the Tarzan hairpin for our race leaders. Will Sowry able to find a way through? Not if he keeps driving like that. Flicks the car ever so slightly sideways coming out of Tarzan. And as the racing maxim goes, if you're going sideways, you're not going forwards, and therefore you're going more slowly. It means that Alice Powell opens up a couple of car lengths or thereabouts on Toby Sowry through Brook as we move towards the latter stages of this race. Alice Powell, who has led every metre of the F3 Cup action thus far this weekend, would like it to remain that way through to the checkered flag. Dean hairpin. Sowry a little bit smoother on that occasion than Powell, but he's not going to be close enough to challenge into Yentwood. The pair of them continue to fly in formation. Through Yentwood, climbing into Chapman Curve now. Into Chapman Curve, and then the left-hander at Piff Paff. There's Bishop just easing closer to the tail of Lee Morgan. Morgan, the reigning Formula Jedi champion. Oliver Ray to the 4 in the trophy class. Oliver Ray, his focus for this season is very much outright podiums. Not sure that's quite going to happen today for him, but nonetheless a very competitive 5th place is where he is currently in the field. As Powell accelerates through, reels off another lap. Sowry a little bit further adrift from Powell, relatively speaking, at this stage of the race as he was in race 1, and that means that Powell doesn't have to worry about defending into the Dean hairpin. She can just focus on driving her own race, and that's where the frustration will really kick in for Toby Sowry, because these cars being so evenly matched and lap times often separated in just the hundredths of a second can make those moves difficult to achieve. As Lee Morgan looking to make the move here on Mark Harrison, and he goes to the inside of Harrison into the Dean hairpin. Unfortunately for Lee though, the word we're getting for race control is that that's going to be fairly academic, because he has been given a 5-second penalty for track limits. So although he's doing battle with Mark Harrison on track, in reality Morgan is actually going to be demoted behind Tony Bishop, and Bishop takes the opportunity to slide past Morgan nonetheless. So Morgan needs to pass those two cars in front of him and then pull 5 seconds clear if he's going to finish in 6th place. And that feels like a little bit too much to ask with just a few corners remaining in the race. Alice Powell once more has absorbed the pressure thrown at her by Toby Sowry. Toby Sowry, though, has kept a level head. He's not gone for any rash challenges. He has done what he needs to do in terms of continuing to keep those points ticking over, maintaining his position at the top of the F3 Cup Championship. So out of Brook and through to the checker flag to do the double at Rockingham in the F3 Cup is Alice Powell. She takes the win. 2nd place once more for Toby Sowry. And it's going to be Tristan Cliff who completes the podium. What about the fight for 6th place? Mark Harrison has got Tony Bishop on his tail. Lee Morgan trying if he can to squeeze through as well, as they all accelerate along the school straight towards Brook for the final time of asking. Harrison has got enough in his back pocket. I think that Bishop, provided he doesn't clatter into the curbs, which he doesn't do, should be able to withstand the challenge of Lee Morgan, as the three of them accelerate through to take the checker flag and conclude what was a thoroughly entertaining tussle. So another lively race from the F3 Cup. This is how they finished. Alice Powell winning it from Toby Sowry, Tristan Cliff in 3rd, Louis Hamilton-Smith 4th, Oliver Ray winning the trophy class in 5th, clear of Mark Harrison, Tony Bishop, Lee Morgan and Nick Robinson. So in terms of the championship standings then, well, Toby Sowry leads the way comfortably from Tristan Cliff, with Tony Bishop a strong 3rd ahead of Louis Hamilton-Smith and Lee Morgan. Well, that's it from Rockingham, but join us in a few weeks' time as the action from the F3 Cup season continues.